I'm John Sadler, president of Sadler Sports Insurance, and we have some exciting changes to talk about for the 2016 Dixie baseball and softball season. The biggest change is our totally redesigned website, which allows us to quickly and efficiently deliver all client services without your ever having to speak to a staff member at Sadler. However, if you have a question or if you need help with a service request, we stand ready to assist you either by chat, email, or phone. The best way to review our insurance and risk management services is just to jump directly into our website. Here's our homepage at www.sadlersports.com. Just hover the mouse over association programs and you can see that we have pages set for Dixie Youth, Dixie Boys, and Dixie Softball. For purposes of today's presentation, we're going to be looking at the Dixie Youth page. However, the Dixie Boys and Dixie Softball pages are virtually identical except for the different rates. So let's get started by clicking on Dixie Youth. There are a small number of leagues that don't buy insurance at all or that only buy insurance for the tournament teams. If you fall into this category, you need to check out this section on the risk of going uninsured. Now, we currently insure approximately 60% of all teams within Dixie. The other 40% either buy from another source such as a local agent, or they think they're protected by the insurance of their municipal recreation department, which is often an incorrect assumption, or they just knowingly don't buy insurance at all. What you need to understand is that we have a significant number of injuries and related lawsuits that occur regularly within the Dixie programs, and our carriers pay out a significant number of claims. Now, here's some statistics for the accident and the general liability policies. You can see the average claim cost here, as well as some of the largest ones that have been paid. And what you need to understand is that you can't even afford to pay out these averages out of pocket. Now, the most common types of injuries and lawsuits that we see in Dixie arise from either spectator injuries, player injuries, or coach and staff injuries. Now, we have a number of garden variety injuries and lawsuits, such as slips, trips, and falls to spectators. We have a lot of player injuries that are serious enough to result in lawsuits. And you also have a lot of crazy things that happen. For example, we often see fights that break out between umpires and spectators that result in lawsuits. There are a number of lame excuses that leagues use for not buying insurance. A lot of times they mistakenly believe they can't afford it. But what you need to understand, if you look at the cost not on a per team basis but on a per player basis, the cost for both accident and general liability will range anywhere from $4 per player to $11 per player depending on the age group. And you can and must load these expenses into your player registration fees. And next, there are 11 reasons why the Dixie Insurance Program blows away the competition. First, we're a single source for all your policies: your accident, general liability, directors and officers liability, crime, and equipment. We have the group buying power that allows us to negotiate broad protection at the lowest possible cost. We have high limits on the accident of $250,000 and the general liability of $2 million. We also have a number of custom coverage enhancements, such as coverage for sex abuse and molestation and non-owned and hired auto liability. Also, we provide instant online 24/7 quote pay print of coverage documents and certificates for field owners. We also give you the ability to self-issue your own certificates of insurance for new field owners on a 24/7 basis. We have best in industry risk management content to help keep you out of trouble, to help prevent the injury or lawsuit from turning into an insurance claim. Also, this is very important, our insurance program meets the Dixie Rulebook insurance requirements for both tournament teams and for tournament hosts. That means if you buy your regular season coverage on all of the teams within your league, you have everything that you need for the tournaments, whether you're just going to participate or whether you host. And you're going to be able to sail through the credentials committee meetings, and your paperwork is not going to be closely scrutinized. Also, a lot of people don't know this, but when you buy through the endorsed program, you participate in a very important safety study, since all the accident claims are loaded into a database that produces a number of meaningful reports for your National Board of Directors when it comes to adopting safety rules and safety equipment. Also, fall ball insurance is automatically covered at no additional charge if you buy coverage on all your regular season teams in the spring. And finally, 98% of our clients rate our service staff as awesome for speed and effectiveness of response. We implemented a ticketing system back in 2013 that allows us to professionally manage all of your service requests. There are a few things you need to know before you apply for coverage. It's very important that you buy both accident and general liability insurance on 100% of all your regular season teams before tryouts to protect yourself and to comply with the Dixie Rulebook tournament insurance requirements for travel teams and tournament hosting. Also, which of the 5 policies do you need? Well, most leagues need all of them. Certainly, without exception, every league needs to carry both accident and general liability insurance. Also, the directors and officers liability insurance is needed because of an escalation in certain types of lawsuits that are not covered by general liability, such as discrimination, failure to follow your own rules or bylaws when you make a decision, player eligibility disputes, and wrongful suspension or termination of your staff or players. And a crime policy is needed if your league maintains a bank account and credit card accounts. I can tell you that we unfortunately have a lot of incidences of insider embezzlement that happen from time to time. And also, you need the equipment policy if your league owns equipment that's at risk due to fire, wind, outsider theft, or vandalism. Here are the limits and the rates for the accident and general liability, as well as the optional coverages, which are the directors and officers liability, crime, and equipment. For the 2016 season, there will be no rate increase on the accident policy. However, the general liability policy will take a 6% rate increase. Now, for these 2 policies, as we've already stated, fall ball activities are automatically covered. And also, the $2 million limit coverage for sexual abuse and molestation will be voided unless you do 3 things. First of all, you must run criminal background checks on all of your staff members with access to youth. You must also have written policies and procedures to make an incident less likely to occur. And you must also have a requirement that in the event of an allegation that law enforcement must be notified. Now, we have a simple 1-page risk management program that will help you comply with all of these, which we'll talk about in a minute. Now, for the D&O crime and equipment coverages, we do have a new carrier this year. However, the limits and coverages and prices are almost identical to last year. If you want to apply for coverage online, you should click on this link where you can get a quote, apply, make payment, and print off your proof of coverage documents and certificates of insurance for field owners in just several minutes. 92% of our clients apply online because they want instant service on a 24/7 basis. Now, whether you apply online or by paper application, you'll want to permanently save the coverage confirmation email that we send back to you, as it has important links that you'll need to print copies of your coverage documents, add delete team forms, and claim forms. It also includes a link where you can self-issue new certificates of insurance for new field owners at any time. Now, in case you can't find your coverage confirmation email, we have a section here for service for current clients. And what you can do here is you can access all of the same services after you enter your email address. And finally, you can scroll down the page to get to our risk management content, which is most applicable to Dixie for all your important forms, articles, and risk management programs. You can use this content to train your risk management officer, administrators, and staff on how to run a safer program and to reduce liability risk. In addition, Our templates allow you to document your risk management program and related policies and procedures in writing. Notice the Child Abuse Molestation Protection Program. This is a one-page document which we've developed, and all you have to do is adopt it and implement it to satisfy the requirements of your general liability carrier for the sex abuse and molestation coverage. And next is the concussion awareness risk management plan. In the event that your state has a mandatory concussion law, and you can find out by going to this interactive map here, it will require you to have written documentation of your concussion risk management plan. We've developed a one-page plan that you can adopt and implement. And then finally, our most comprehensive risk management plan here is the sample basic plan that you can use to educate your administrators and staff on identifying and properly responding to various risks at the ballpark and within your program. If you have any questions, please call us or visit our website. Thanks for your time today, and we very much appreciate your business and support.